We are live. We'll give everybody a moment to fill in here. So I haven't started the meeting, but I guess I have to say something about St. Patrick's Day and the fact that that is exactly today, and it appears that at least one of the people in front of us has the most incredibly Irish-sounding name I can imagine here, with Mary Brennan Coursey.
Yes. Hi, John. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I mean, Councilman Dale. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's also my daughter's Rosie's 28th birthday, and she's having a few friends over down below. So if you hear anything, I'm trying to keep it on mute when I'm not speaking.
Well, if that's your way of pitching that you want to be first and get out of here, as it turns out, you are number one on the list. So, okay,
Right.
It looks as though we've got a reasonable complement of council people here and speakers. So why don't we get started? Good evening, everyone. My name is John Gale, and you are, if you're tuned into this, you're tuned into the Hartford City Council public hearing for the month of March, Monday, March 17th. Let's see, today's public hearing is being broadcast live on HPA-TV's Xfinity Government Channel 96 and Frontier Government Channel 6032. It will also be streamed via hpa-tv.org, the HPA-TV Facebook page, and HPA-TV Apple TV, Amazon TV, and Roku TV apps. It will also be made available on the HPA-TV YouTube channel. So I'd like to welcome everybody here. And let me introduce the other members of City Council who are with us as I see them on the screen. Councilwoman Marilyn Rossetti. I see that we have Councilman Alex Thomas and Councilman TJ Clark. So with that, a couple of housekeeping rules. Public hearing is going to be conducted in accordance with the following procedures. Each person who wishes to address the council shall, upon recognition by me, give his or her name and address, and if you represent a group, please tell us the group that you represent. All remarks shall be addressed to the council as a body and not to any individual members. Any person making personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks who becomes boisterous while addressing council shall be forthwith barred by the presiding officer, that would be me, from further audience at this meeting unless permission to remain is granted by 2/3 vote of the council members present. I guess doing this with Zoom, it probably means that somebody can just like get you out of here if you are not cooperative. During the public hearing, there should be no debate by council, although questions may be asked by council members of the persons making presentations. So let's begin. We have 2 items on the agenda tonight. The first item on the agenda is described as Mayor Arulampalam with accompanying ordinance amending Chapter 28 of the Municipal Code to establish the Parkville Special Services District. And I took the liberty of just printing out the cover letter that came to council from the mayor's office in submitting this, just to give a little flavor of what we're talking about tonight. So the mayor has indicated to council, attached for your consideration is an ordinance amending Chapter 28 of the Municipal Code to establish the Parkville Special Services District. The establishment of the Parkville Special Services District is aimed at enhancing the quality of life and economic vitality of the Parkville area through cleaning and beautification of streetscapes, marketing services, public safety initiatives, including police and fire department services. The ordinance outlines the district's powers, which include the ability to acquire, hold, and convey real and personal property, to enter into contracts, to recommend a special tax levy on taxable properties within the district, to fund its services. I note that we have 7 people who've signed up to speak, and I'm going to take them in the order that was given to me to comment on this. And generally, we take public comment by first asking for someone who's going to speak in favor of the ordinance, and then turning to the other side, somebody who's going to speak against. As it turns out tonight, all 7 people have indicated they're speaking in favor of this, and so we're just going to go in order. Number 1 would be Mary Corsi.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to be here tonight.
And by the way, you have 5 minutes.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm glad to be here tonight. It's been a few years since we've been working on this, and it's exciting to see it move forward. So basically, I'm here to urge you to support the establishment of the Parkville bid and to give you a little overview of the bid ordinance up for your consideration. In 2022, the Parkville Business Association hired me as a consultant with additional funding support from CRDA to work with the community to establish the Parkville bid. I'm here to share how the proposed bid will enhance the neighborhood's economic vitality and quality of life. This initiative has been developed through a lot of collaboration with property owners, businesses, and residents in the area, including the Parkville Business Association and the Parkville NRZ, Parkville Neighborhood Revitalization Association, or the NRZ. We've also worked closely with the Mayor's Office and Corporation Council. Parkville has recently seen a significant growth in development, and it's become a hub for arts, innovation, and small businesses. This bid proposal represents the next step in the neighborhood's evolution. The Parkville bid will be authorized under Connecticut's general statutes, and if this is approved, the bid will have specific powers to enhance services within the district boundaries. The bid will encompass approximately 400 properties in the Parkville neighborhood, mainly within the areas of commerce. The northern boundary will extend to West Boulevard and Capitol Avenue. The eastern boundary roughly follows Park Terrace and the area near Pope Park. The southern boundary extends south to Flatbush Avenue, and the western boundary extends Prospect Avenue and also follows along New Park Avenue. The bid will focus on 3 essential core services that you've already mentioned: cleaning and beautification, marketing services, public safety. And then the services that we're providing are designed to complement, not replace, already existing city services. The bid will be governed by 11-member board of commissioners. 6 will be property owners within the district. 2 commissioners will be business tenants or lessees within the district, and 3 commissioners will serve as ex officio, 2 appointed by the mayor and 1 appointed by the Parkville NRZ. This governance structure ensures representation from all stakeholder groups and accountability to both the property owners and the broader community. The board will operate transparency with open meetings and regular reporting to stakeholders. And the bid will be funded through a special assessment on taxable properties within the district. This dedicated funding will generate approximately $180,000 annually to invest directly in Parkville services. For the first year, the fiscal year 2025, the mill rate is set at 2.0 mil. Future adjustments will be based on the previous year's levy plus consumer price tax index increases. And then the property owners will receive semi-annual bills January and July through the city's normal tax collection process. So we put the ordinance includes several important protections: residential protection. Owners of 1 or 2 or 3 family homes may opt out of the district if they choose to. Democratic approval. The bid requires majority approval through a referendum of property owners, both by number of owners and the assessed value. Financial transparency. Annual financial reports will be provided to both the city and all property owners. And insurance requirements. The district will maintain a $2 million in liability coverage protecting both the bid and the city. If approved by the city council, a referendum will take place within 60 days after approval. And if the referendum passes, the board will be seated within 30 days. Operations would begin in the current fiscal year, with services ramping up as funding is collected. So the Parkville bid represents a significant opportunity to build on on the Parkville neighborhood's momentum and address ongoing challenges. I respectfully request your support for this ordinance, allowing property owners to vote on this important initiative. Thanks for your consideration. I'm happy to answer any questions from the council.
You got that right in under 5.
Thank you.
First question is, would you please give us your address and
Sure.
any group you represent here?
Sure. My address is 21 Walbridge Road, and I live in West Hartford, Connecticut, and I'm representing the Parkville bid right now.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Did I see any council member have a question? No.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. That was quite a summary of
Sorry.
of the bid. I know we're going to hear more. Number 2 on the list, Jack Sullivan, you're up.
Howdy, everybody. For those that I've not met yet, I think I know most of the people here. My name's Jack Sullivan. I'm a former Parkville resident. I now live on Park Terrace, so just outside the proposed district. I still own a property and operate a business in Parkville, the Bop Coffee, if anybody is looking for good coffee. For the past year, I've served as the vice president for the Parkville NRZ, though I do not speak for the NRZ tonight. I speak only for myself. So I've prepared some remarks that I'll just read off. Parkville, it's a neighborhood in motion, with or without the bid. So like 100 years ago, its streets were full of trolleys. Its many factories were churning out typewriters and tires at the hands of the mostly Irish, Italian, and French Canadian immigrants that lived here. 50 years ago, most of those factories had become vacant, and a new generation of Portuguese immigrants came to live, work, and start businesses and families here. And then in the past 20 years, mostly by the hard work of enterprising residents, mostly immigrants, those factories have seen new life as regional culinary destinations, housing, nonprofits, yoga studios, and so much more. The people who live here now are a beautiful mix of longtime residents and newcomers. People from the Caribbean, from Brazil, from Burma, from India, and from Indiana, like me. Parkville is a beacon of vibrancy for the city and the region, and it's going to continue to grow and change with or without the bid. So I see this business improvement district as a tool to harness the forces that are propelling that change and to make sure that the change is directed in a way that improves life for the people who live here and choose to do business here. The way that the ordinance is written, the bid will not be just like a cabal of a few powerful property owners. The NRZ will have a voice on the bid. Our nonprofits will have a voice on the bid. The city is going to have a voice in the bid through the mayor. And local business owners who rent rather than own are also going to have a voice on the bid. Those are all in the ordinance. The bid is an opportunity for all these people to come together with a pot of additional resources, and together they're going to direct those resources towards services that improve quality of life for the people of Parkville. And just to talk a little bit about when I lived in Parkville. So I lived in Parkville during the lockdowns of the pandemic. I moved there in 2020, and we moved out towards the middle of 2021. I remember teaching my high school class via Zoom from my kitchen, and I remember seeing people come into my driveway pretty regularly to shoot up fentanyl and to smoke crack. When the market opened up, we lived 3 blocks away. My wife and I would walk an additional 6 blocks to avoid the stretch on Park Street by the fast track, because every time we walked there, we'd be approached by people trying to sell us drugs. And while we only felt physically threatened once, it was never comfortable. Nobody likes being offered drugs on the way to go pick up some Brazilian food. So since then, things have slowly gotten better. I walk past the fast track regularly on my way home from work, and my way to work, in the building where I roast coffee. But still, as I'm walking the streets of Parkville, I find needles and litter on the sidewalk regularly. Former students of mine, all of whom grew up in the North End, when they learned that I live and work in the area, a lot of them raised their eyebrows. One student asked me pointedly, "Do you go outside in the summer?" Parkville has done so much and has come so far. And it's going to continue changing, like I said. And that's going to happen with or without the bid. Again, I see the bid as an opportunity to get a pot of resources to direct those changes, right? The bid plans to contract a local nonprofit, similar to the way that they do downtown, to pick up all of those things on the street, to have people around to answer questions, to have people who have Narcan who can help people who are struggling on the streets of Parkville. And so I really see this as an incredible opportunity to direct the positive change that's already on its way. And I hope that the council will consider passing this bid.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Questions from anyone? All right. Number 3, Jordan Poland.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me and letting me take the opportunity to speak positively about the proposed ordinance for the new Parkville bid. So my name is Jordan Poland. My home address is 19 Stinson Place. I live in Windsor, Connecticut. Our business address is 90 State House Square, 10th floor. I am, as I said, the executive director of the Hartford Business Improvement District. I have been with this organization for 17 years. It's been in existence for 19 years. And over the 19 years, we've really worked in this particular bid to sort of hone and refine what kind of district makes sense here in Hartford. And really, in the last couple of years, we are shifting and have shifted the way that we think about our business improvement district. In San Francisco, business improvement districts are known as community benefit districts. And we really feel that those words really encompass the work that's being done by business improvement districts across the country right now, especially ones like ours that are focusing on things like marketing and cleanliness and public safety and advocacy. These smaller bids that work so closely with the community are really here to be doing this street level work on behalf of the property owners who are contributing resources into this fund, but the work is for the community. And I think that that work that's going to be done in Parkville, because of the resources that'll be available with the designation of this bid, is going to make such a huge difference, and it will truly be a benefit for their community. We're excited to be able to share our resources. I've let Mary know and the city know that anything that this bid needs from us as they get, moving and off the ground, including printing resources, we'll share our social service outreach cards and all of the work that we've been done. This bid will have a tremendous amount of support from our organization. And I'm really excited to be able to welcome them into the bid world.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along, number 4, Stephanie Boyce.
Hi, thank you so much for allowing me a few moments to speak. So I'm Stephanie Boyce. I'm from Hands on Hartford. Our address is 55 Bartholomew Avenue. My personal residence address is 72 Rising Trail Drive, and that's in Middletown. I am so thrilled to be here this evening to speak in favor of the Parkville bid. I do echo other sentiments that this is a wonderful opportunity for the Parkville community. I do want to share, when our soup kitchen was in downtown Hartford, we had a wonderful relationship with the Hartford bid, and we saw firsthand how the overall, just the quality of life for folks in that area was, how greatly, their staff would connect people to resources and were voices for those who weren't able to advocate for themselves. So I know that having Parkville bid, this is just going to be another positive opportunity for the residents and business owners of the area. And so, yeah, I just want to say thank you. And I'm really excited that we are here. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Greatly appreciated. Questions, anyone? All right, moving along. Then number 5 on the list is David Moran.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Floor is
See that?
yours.
Muted correctly. All right. Hi. David Moran. Let's see. I live at 24 Park Place, Hartford, Connecticut. I'm the president of the Parkville Revitalization Association, and a bunch of other things. That's all I'm going to say. But I am not speaking for the Parkville NRZ. I am speaking as myself, David Moran, Hartford citizen, on the subject. And let's see. First of all, there is myself and other members of the NRZ who are obviously in the minority. Sorry, Jack. We believe in the zeal to start new building projects. This, in regards to this Parkville Special Services District, we see no checks and balances here in the creation of a new nonprofit. No reason to bring the projects back to the NRZ or residents until project is a fait accompli, an accomplished fact, and all we as the residents can offer as input into it is what we don't like. That's not the proper way to do this. I'm going to give you specific sections now of the ordinance that we have problems with. Section 28-259, section F, G, and H, where it specifically says 1 vote per property. We feel that as it exists under Schedule A, you're not accounting for condo buildings such as 1429 Park Street and others, that each apartment is listed as a property, and it gives disproportionate voting to those large property owners and large property buildings as opposed or compared to a perfect 6 with tenants, not condo owners. Next section, section 28-260, where it talks about members of the Special Services District. We, and I especially, don't feel that 1 voting ex officio voting member is anywhere near enough. Everyone else has more voting members, including the mayor's office. I've been on enough boards and commissions with 1 vote to know that it's useless having 1 with a majority of other people. All right. So, and then the last thing is, as was stated by someone in here who states that a bid district is a community benefit district, that's the last and most important thing that we have problem with. And that's what happens to the community and public benefit portion of state and or federal funding when grants are given to this special services district. What, if any, do we as other smaller nonprofits in the community have as any indication that those funds would come to us and not just the special services district? The end.
David, you may have cut out.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
Any questions, I guess, or if any more?
Your comments are done?
Yes, sir. Did you hear it all?
I think so. We may have,
Okay.
you tailed off at the end, but I think you were at the end. Interesting, David, because we had you down as somebody speaking in favor of it, but I hear you saying you might be in favor of it, but you really have concerns about several parts of it. Is that correct?
No, I am not in favor of it. I was not asked that question when I signed up, and so I didn't know how to respond to that. Let you go through your list like you're doing.
Okay, so
I am
you're
not in favor
you're
of it
not
in
in
its present
favor of it.
condition. It needs to be worked on.
Okay, and just to clarify, I think I understand your problem with 28-259. Your concern with 28-260 was that the NRZ only has 1 vote?
Correct.
Okay.
And therefore the residents and other people. Yes.
Well, again, you tailed off, but I take it you
I
mean
said yes, and therefore if the NRZ has 1 vote, it doesn't give enough to the residents and other people than the larger businessmen that will be part of this commission.
understood. And your
And it
third,
doesn't have to be me or the NRZ. It can be other community association, other things like this. Just think on it.
Got it. Thank you. I just wanted to clarify your third concern about community benefit is that the NRZ may be in competition for grants with the bid. Is that the concern?
Not necessarily grants. As I have seen funding come to large projects in any community from state or federal, within those funding requirements is the community benefit or public benefit portion, or percentage of the grant is supposed to go for community benefit. And what we are saying is, will that community benefit now be only going to the special services district because they're going to handle all these projects, and the rest of us out there in the community are literally stuck doing the grant thing while they have funds that don't get to us? How is that going to get to the other nonprofits in our area? And this does not spell that out at all.
Got it. All right. Well, thank you for that clarification. Let me see if any other council members have any questions for you.
Councilman Gale, Chairman Gale,
Sure.
I don't have any comments, but I think as you sat on the bid board, Councilman Gale, and we have Jordan here with us, I think she could lend some clarity to some of the concerns of that David Moran has.
Well, I'm not sure the process here since it's
Okay.
not a real.
No, I'm speaking
yeah.
to the chairman. Yep. All right. So I would let me reword it then, Councilman Gale. As a council person who sits on the bid board, I would encourage anyone who may have some concerns to also speak to people who have been involved with the downtown bid to see how it works. I'll just leave it at that. Thank you, Councilman Gale.
No, you're very welcome, but it does, I was going to announce this at the end of the comments, but let me just make the point now. For everybody that's watching and specifically certainly for you, Mr. Moran, after tonight's public hearing, this matter will be heard by a committee of city council. So there's a process that all ordinances have to go through. After they're introduced, they get a public hearing, and that's what we're having tonight. But from that public hearing, it will go to a committee of council, which in this case is the Planning, Economic Development, and Housing Committee, which will next meet on April the 2nd at 5:30 p.m. Those are generally virtual meetings, and this ordinance will be taken up at that meeting. And only after it goes to committee will it then go from committee back to council. So there's ample opportunity for us to have continued discussion of these things and for us to take more input between now and then and at the committee itself.
And what was the name of that committee, Councilman Gale?
That's called the Planning, Economic Development, and Housing, affectionately referred to as PEDH.
Okay, there you go. Thank you.
PEDH, April 2nd, 5:30 p.m.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Seeing no other council members with comments, moving right along.
Councilman Gale, I did have a question for Mr. Moran.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Councilman Clark. Go ahead.
That's okay. Mr. Moran, you mentioned the fact of other nonprofits in the Parkville neighborhood, but I noticed that Hands on Hartford here spoke in the affirmative and supporting of this ordinance. So is there a number of nonprofits in the Parkville that share your viewpoints?
Yes. The most, how do I explain this? Hands on Hartford, other larger nonprofits are part of this. Smaller nonprofits may or may not be, may not even know about this or how to access any funding from it without the bid specifically saying here. That's the problem I have. How do the other nonprofits get some benefit from the community benefit that's going to come from all this building and projects that come down here? And I don't see that anywhere here, except for the grace of the commissioners and perhaps yourselves who will be on the board.
And I have a follow-up question to that when you're referring to the smaller nonprofits.
Yes.
Was there opportunity for smaller nonprofits to attend said meetings in the community regarding this proposal? And if there was opportunity, did this this meeting notice get into the proper hands of these smaller nonprofits so that they can be a part of this conversation?
So the last part I can't answer. When notification was given to them, I can't answer. To state, were they at public meetings and stated these things? Yes.
Okay, and just final comment, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
I would hope that you do reach out to Ms. Poland so that there can be some conversation. I think maybe there might be some type of misunderstanding so that everyone could actually be on the same page in the Parkville area. I've been to a lot of the Parkville NRZ meetings as well as the business association meetings over at the Parkville Market. And I know that I think I can go out to say that everybody wants the same thing for Parkville, for this revitalization. It's a long time coming. As Jack was mentioning regarding the panhandling and everything that's been taking place over the fast track and even under the bridge. And I think that, yeah, if you reach out to Jordan and whomever else that she brings to the table, maybe that the communication gap can be closed in and there can be some more synergy around this initiative. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman Clark. Thank you, Mr. Moore.
Jordan, could you put up your contact information again? I got halfway through and it was gone.
Sure. I dropped it in the chat, but I'll put it back in if you'd like.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving right along. Number 6 on the list is Aish Kumar.
Hi everyone. How are you guys?
Hello, you're on.
My name is Aishwarya. I lived in Parkville for about a year. I teach yoga in Parkville now at 30 Arbor Street. I live down the street in Park Terrace. Having lived in Parkville, I very much I saw so much potential in it, but I did have trouble walking in and around that Panhandle area that we were just talking about, and the area around the bridge. I just found it a little bit. I found it a little difficult to navigate walking around that area, and I feel like using resources to make Parkville more walkable and more accessible can only be a good thing. And I've read a lot about the bid and what they're planning to do, and I'm very pro that kind of providing that kind of access and beautification to a neighborhood that I dearly value and get a lot out of. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Sorry, I know I had 5 minutes, but that's my main point. Thank you.
Brevity is the soul of wit. Greatly appreciated. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you guys for having me.
Come back once a month. Third Monday of every month, we have public hearing at 7 o'clock. They're not always as exciting and full of energy as this one.
Oh, Councilman Gale, I bid to differ. They're always this exciting, if not more. Go ahead.
Well, there you go. Okay. All right. SmackDown.
Better than CNN.
Number 7 on our list is Stephen Cusano. Stephen, you're up.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello, I'm Stephen Casano. I'm the owner of Parkville Sounds. I also own the building at 1800 Park Street, and we are property owners at 1810, 1812 Park Street. I'm going to echo what everyone else from the neighborhood mostly has been saying here, along with Jack and everyone. Love this neighborhood. I think this bid is going to do amazing things for the neighborhood, and it's going to help push this neighborhood and this movement forward to help everyone here. I'm excited about it, and yeah, I'm all for it. So I'm just gonna keep mine short and simple.
Quick question for you. Your home address, please.
54 Wright Road, Weathersfield, Connecticut.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your comments. Any questions, anyone? Okay, well, that concludes the printed list that I have. I see, I'm not sure if there's someone else who's logged on who would like to speak? I see one other Bill's iPhone here. I'm not sure who that is. Is there anyone else that would like to speak either in favor or against this item concerning the creation of the Parkville bid? Anyone else would like to speak either in favor or against the ordinance creating the Parkville Business Improvement District? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Anyone else would like to speak? Hearing no one else, and having no other, oh, I take it back. We have one other matter on the agenda. Having no one else on this item, we will close this item and we will move on to item number 2 on the agenda. Item number 2 on the agenda is, we can get this one up, Mayor Arulampalam with accompanying ordinance amendment of sections 1532, 1533, and 1534 of Chapter 15 of the Municipal Code of Hartford pertaining to the Central Connecticut Solid Waste Authority. And as I read that, it said absolutely nothing to me. So once again, I took the cover letter of the mayor to just give you a brief summary of what we're talking about here. So addressed to City Council, attached for your consideration is a proposed amendment to sections 1532, 1533, and 1534 of Chapter 15 of the Municipal Code, which sections pertain to the Central Connecticut Solid Waste Authority, in which said sections are to be deleted in their entirety and replaced with a new enabling ordinance which has been provided by the Capital Region Council of Governments to all the member municipalities of CCSWA, including the City of Hartford. The purpose of the new enabling ordinance is to, among other things, update certain aspects of the ordinance and simplify the CCSWA membership and voting process and eliminate the need for further amendments of the relevant ordinance, with all of the foregoing being more particularly described in the ordinance itself. So with that little summary, I'm going to open up. I have no one who has signed up to speak in favor or against this. So I will just start to reach out. Is there anyone on the screen that would like to speak in favor of this ordinance? Anyone who would like to speak in favor of this ordinance? Anyone who would like to speak in favor of this ordinance? All right. Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to opposition. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to the creation of this ordinance? Anyone who would like to speak in opposition? And for a third call, anybody who would like to speak in opposition? Again, hearing and seeing none, I will close the hearing on item number 2 on our agenda. And there doesn't seem to be anything else on our agenda unless any council members have any particular comments or questions or reservations or desires. I will.
No, sir, no desires, just a desire to have a good night. That's all.
All right, let's
Plenty of reservations, though, Councilman Gill.
Well, you know, see, if I threw enough things in there, we'd hit something.
Oh, Councilman, I do have one thing. It's unrelated to this, just
Yes.
for the viewers, the viewing audience, and those that are here. Congressman Larson is having a town hall meeting tomorrow. I do not remember exactly where it's at, but if you call his office, they will be able to tell you where it's going to be. And it's sponsored by the AFL-CIO. Senators Murphy and Blumenthal had one today at the old Comforters Union, 32BJ SEIU. And all our Connecticut congressional delegations having town halls this week. So please contact their offices and in hopes that you can attend, as they are, trying to fight for us down in Washington.
Thank you, Councilman Clark. Very important. Greatly appreciate that announcement. We certainly need to get the word out. So thank you.
Thank you, TJ.
Anything else by anyone? All right, in which case I will adjourn the meeting. Have a great evening, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.